Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to talk a little bit about what we could expect to see happening on Global between now and the Heroes celebration, which we know from the official posts on the Global Dokkan Twitter, where they posted out the artworks for Limit Breaker, Vegito and Rose after that initial Heroes anniversary livestream. We know that it is releasing on the 21st of November PST, which is of course 2 weeks, exactly 14 days from today. So obviously we're looking forward to finding out what the Heroes units do. Usually that's only a few days before the banners come out, but in the meantime we're left to wonder what will be going on Global, because obviously we are in what is the thank you celebration, right? Global's version of the Tanabata for now, because we are getting, well, have gotten the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. We're in a bit of a dry period this week. The only real content coming out isn't until Friday, and that's when we will be getting the physical Beerus EZA, as well as a new Super Battle Road stage and a new stage of Infinite Dragon Ball History. But then in terms of stuff for the rest of the celebration, we have a chain battle coming out a couple of days after that. And then we have some new quest mode stages as well. That only takes us up to the 15th of November. So we still have a good week to go for Heroes before then. Now, chances are not much crazy is going to happen, but the thing that has people wondering at the moment is what is going on with the LR Omega Shenron, because as you can see on JP, for some reason the timeline for the Tanabata campaign, rather than doing a part 2, it goes in like reverse order. So you can see further down the list, this is where the campaign started and this is when Goku came out. This was on the 29th of June. And then if we scroll up, Omega came out on the 20th of July. So it was a good little while later. And the timeline for that doesn't really match up to where we are on Global. Like, for him to come out 3 weeks after Goku would basically have him coming out at the exact same time as Heroes, which doesn't really fit very well into the timeline. And this is why people are wondering, like, what is going on? Because we do know, of course, that the grand plan is to sync Global and JP's release schedules at some point, but we still haven't really been given any sort of clear indication of when that's going to happen, when it's going to start. All we know from the graphic they showed on that producer layer a little while ago is that they want to have everything fully synced by the 10th anniversary, but we don't know what's going on before then, right? Like, a lot of people are hoping and speculating that the 9th anniversary might be same time, even though Global won't be fully caught up to JP. There's no reason why the anniversary can't be synced, even if the rest of the schedule isn't, right? The only real difference it's going to make is if any of the couple of units that Global are missing up to that point would be beneficial for the new anniversary units and their teams. For example, if the anniversary was Reps of Universe 7 themed again and we got a new UI Goku, obviously the androids that have recently released on JP would be a big buff to that team. But I think most Global players would agree we would probably rather have things like the anniversary be in sync, even if it meant we were missing out one of those units. So they're obviously going to be looking to do that, but how quickly is that going to happen, and how well does that work with the schedule? Because on Global right now we obviously have the Goku banner. The Super Saiyan 4 Goku banner is up all the way until basically the end of November, so the banner will still actually be up when Heroes comes out. And then, of course, the one thing that is interesting is the sales on Global only go up until Wednesday the 15th. And that is when, if you take a look in your game now and go into the news for the celebration, that is the furthest date of any of the content, right? That is when the new quest stages come out. The chain battle against Giant 8 Baby comes out a couple of days before that. So the 15th of November covers everything that's in part 1 of this celebration. And it has been indicated that because there are missions for getting the tickets and things like that in the campaign that say complete the missions in part 1, it implies there will be a part 2. But what does that mean exactly? Now, if we take a look at last year's schedule for Global, we got the Resurrection of F Blues at the very beginning. And then as we scroll down here, we did get a World Tournament. We got new, funny enough, actually, we got new quest stages added around this same time as well. So it's kind of interesting that that's happening again this year on the 15th of November. But we did get a World Tournament, so I could definitely see a World Tournament taking place. This was on the 18th, so that already puts us outside of that 15th like barrier that we have so far. We are 3 world tournaments behind global, behind JP. So getting a world tournament between now and Heroes would definitely be good in terms of catching that up. I know a lot of people don't like the world tournament, but there are a lot of stones you can get out of it as long as you do complete like the missions. You get to the 30 million points, you do your couple of wins every day to beat those daily missions. You can get a decent amount of stones out of it. So for people looking forward to summoning for Heroes, them doing a world tournament right before does actually give you another final event that you can get a few extra stones from. So personally, I am kind of hoping that they do that. And then we had Heroes drop on the 22nd, and this year is the 21st. Well, that'll be the 22nd, morning of the 22nd for me in my time zone. So, as you can see, last year they didn't really do much in the month at all, right? There's no Part 2 LR. So when we try and match it onto the Goku celebration from JP, because we got LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku on global instead of getting, say, Tech Trunks, who would have fit in this slot because he doesn't have a Part 2 LR either. Now, obviously, Goku is the more hype release, and definitely him coming out before Heroes. A lot of people excited to use all of those new Super Saiyan 4s all together. But it leaves the question of where is there space to put Omega? But what are they doing in this gap, right? Because if the sales on global end on the 15th, usually the game doesn't like there to not be any sales available, right? Usually the only time no sales are available is if you've already bought them all. Now, the one thing that I looked up for last year, because again, you can see here, this is just a blank, like a black hole of content, right? We got to, the Blues came out on the 4th, there was an EZA come out on the 11th and a new Super Battle Road stage and some new quest stages and then a world tournament, right? Not really a lot to carry us over for 3 weeks of an entire month. But this is the timeline on the wiki, basically just shows like the new things that were released. So this is the Thank You Celebration campaign from last year, and this is the part 2 that started from the 18th, right? So this is what we will potentially see starting from the 16th is the Thank You Celebration Part 2. And as you can see, we got this random filler legendary summon banner that came with its own new sales. And these sales only lasted for 4 days because Heroes on Global has its own set of sales as well. So we got an interesting, it was literally just a filler, 32 pack twice, 93 pack 3 times. And then the Dragonstones per day went up to 5 instead of 3 for 3 days. So a little mini extra sale, and then this legendary summon banner, which was UI Goku, Angel Vegeta, and then Jiren, and then a couple of other featured units. None of these units, I mean, I guess at the time they would have been a little bit better. UI Goku, obviously a good pull if you didn't have him. Although I suppose if we're thinking this time last year, it's still post Red Zone, so UI Goku was probably already on the way out at that point. So the banner, not great. The absolute definition of a filler banner. If we get something like this again on Global, this will be the easiest skip ever, even for people not that interested in Heroes. I'm not sure what they could possibly even do in this time slot to make this worth summoning on before Heroes and then whatever's going to come out in December. And then if we look at the rest of the celebration, it was again just the new stage of the Super Battle Road and a World Tournament, which is what's shown here, right? So basically, nothing major going on. I mean, to call this even a part 2 of a celebration is almost embarrassing, right? It is literally just a few days where they added a filler banner, a small amount of extra sales, and then a world tournament. Not really what you would call part 2 of a major celebration, but I think that does lead us very well. If we look back here to last year's timeline, this is what will then lead us into Heroes at the 21st, and then that sees us through basically to the end of the month. The Tanabata unit came out on the 28th. Now, bearing in mind that we already got Goku in part 1, the 28th could be, or around this time, when we see Omega releasing. Because then that would still be, if we go back to when we looked at the Tanabata celebration here and the dates, this was around 20 to 21 days after Goku came out. And if we go back to here, the 28th of November would be 24 days after the Dokkan Fest had released at the end of the month. So this time slot at the end of November probably seems like the most likely place that Omega will release, unless they're saving him to be the December Double Rates Carnival. Now, there are 2 schools of thought on that when it comes to how they're going to do this, because if we get Omega drop at the end of November for global, we could then see a same time December Carnival banner on both versions, which obviously, again, would be another good step in the direction of syncing the two versions. And it would be kind of cool. Obviously, it's always hype when both versions get something at the same time. This would be making the end of the year even more jam-packed with stuff to summon for global, though, because we'd have Omega dropping, who, unfortunately, he's a pretty easy skip, right? But then we'd have a same-time Carnival double rates banner, and then New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest, potentially shared again like it was last year, because that's when Ultima Gohan and Orange Piccolo came out. So we really would be going like Tanabata Goku into Heroes, into Omega, then into a double rates Carnival banner, and then the New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest, all within the space of 2 months, which is a lot of stuff all to come out in one short space of time. And a lot of people are waiting for the Omega Shenron release, not even really for the LR himself, but the day he released on JP was the day that the Omega stage came out for the Shadow Dragons event, which obviously becomes the new hardest stage in that event. So there's a lot of stuff they still need to fit in, but how are they going to fit that all in before the end of the year? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are they going to try and fit Omega in these 2 weeks between now and the Hero Celebration? I think considering the Part 1 celebration info that we already have, like I say, goes all the way up to the 15th. The only thing I guess we could see is, you know, on the 15th or even the day before, they tease that Omega is coming on Twitter or something. And then on the evening of the 15th or the 16th itself, we see the Part 2 celebration info in the news, and it shows that the Omega banner is coming. But then obviously that means he would be dropping like 5 days before Heroes, which is a very tight schedule for people who actually want to summon for all the various new releases. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What do you think they're going to do with Omega? Is he coming out before Heroes? Is he coming out just after? Or is he going to remain as like the Dual Dokkan Fest, the Carnival LR for December? Because going back to here where the Tanabata was at the end of November, I just wanted to get this in here. We went into December, and this is where the Part 2 LR for the Tanabata last year, this is where Omega is, right? He's the Part 2 LR for the Tanabata. Zamasu came out as a double rates Carnival banner in December. So, and that's because Vegeta and Trunks came out right at the end of November. So if Goku had come out at the end of November, it would make perfect sense for Omega to be coming out mid-December. But they released Goku earlier in the month. So now where is Omega going to be? So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.